Hey, family, one perfect love, what's up? Jesse Tree, what's happening? Hope y'all having a beautiful day out there. Been a while since I seen y'all. Glad to be here today. Gonna wait a little bit, see who joins. We have, I had some questions that people shot at me via message that I just wanted to answer today uh, and just connect out. It's been a while, and it's been really good for me to take this time away from social media, reframe my values, and connect in a deeper way with my inner being, which you know I really feel like the greatest wealth in this day and age is a regulated nervous system. And in honesty of all honesties, I can feel the way in which social media and just even devices affect my nervous system, um, and affect my psychology. And so it's been nice to reclaim that space for myself. And I feel pretty solid in it now. And I'm going to continue kind of just sharing sporadically, periodically, because I really, when I come on here, I want to come with true joy, wanting to add real value to the community and not just be putting up content laissez-faire just because it's an expectation. So, greetings everywhere. And one, I see Darla there. I'm having trouble reading Darla Tyree and Hitchy13, looks like. Welcome, welcome. I wanted to connect out today about subject matter that's been on my mind and in my heart with respect to sort of individual and collective peace around the subject of diets and uh, breatharianism even. Basically, it connects in also with our peace, our purpose in this plane, and relaxing in to our natural state of joy. And this thing on my heart is just with regard to this sort of restrictive mentality that is brought into the realm of health and lifestyle. And it's an interesting conundrum because as many of you know, or it's definitely been the case for me, that in creating my health path and being committed to it, being accountable to it, and showing up in a disciplined way to create the experience that I want, we form boundaries necessarily and attachments. It's that thing of making judgments. This is good, this is bad. I prefer raw vegan, liquiditarianism, if I'm consuming things. But there's also, in terms of, that's the way it advances what I'm trying to experience. It advances my health, having boundaries. So, but that has also been very limiting for me in terms of, and restrictive in terms of being able to connect socially with my own family, other people. And Jerome just did, and Ellie Tom just did a wonderful sharing about this whole thing of like relationship and how it connects with the breatharian path. But, outside of a sort of a side tangent of what I want to get into today, it's mostly about the way in which we'll sort of, by doing this practice, you're doing something good for yourself. Maybe it's developing your own business. Maybe you're just trying to transform, you're trying to quit alcohol, something like that. And you have to make these rigid, disciplined moves, very strongly at the beginning. You have to carry them out for a long while for it to become a natural part of your life. But if there is too much restriction on anything, it's liable to snap. It's this thing of tension, and relaxation, and realizing from my Buddhist path, the teaching therein, that our higher self is this, it's already latent, not latent, it's present in you, and maybe just subsumed by all of us, just subsumed by our programming and our, negative self-talk and all the different things, right? So it's something this path has been very liberating of, but at the same time, personally, for myself, identifying as a breatharian on the one hand, I'm subject to attack. I get all kinds of negative comments. You're not a breatharian. You'll still drink juice. It doesn't matter that I dry fast 23 hours a day, that I've been doing it for 8 years. It takes enormous discipline, enormous work, and it's been wonderful and it's been fruitful. But ultimately, in the philosophy of Buddhism, our attachments are the things that cause us pain. So that's the pushing it off. I don't want this in my life, and the trying to pull in what you want. And there's a wonderful metaphor for this, okay? This you can do with a mala. I saw Master Shi Hung Yi, the Buddhist Kung Fu monk, first demonstrate this idea. It's great. So you got this thing, right? And maybe it's something you don't want. So you push it away. And what happens? It comes swinging back to you more quickly. You want something, try to pull it in. What happens? It goes away. Same thing happens when you're a little kid and you want to pick up the puppy dog or the kitten, and it just keeps, you're chasing it and it keeps running. And this is our happiness, that we're talking about here. And it's a natural state, and that's what the breatharian path is supportive of, because as you detox the energy meridians, as there's greater flow through your body, as you work with the breath, and the sun and the earth, and you start to develop your chi and build, your light body, other things are falling away, all the time, and your commitment becomes greater and greater to this thing. And the trick is to keep your commitments, keep your discipline, and disentangle our identification, right? So, and the person who hit me up earlier with a question was wondering, because in the last several months I have brought in more solid food into my body than I have in the last several years. And it hasn't been much, It's been some salads, it's been some, kelp noodle, oriental kelp noodle bowls and stuff like that, all, primarily raw or maybe like 5% cooked. I'll sometimes have like a vegan taco. And what happened was I just got bored. After 8 years of doing juice and, tea and superfoods and smoothies and kombuchas, for satiety, there was just things I wanted to experience. And through my study at the Juice Guru Institute, we talked about this thing about restriction. Wherever you're being restrictive to yourself, especially with respect to your diet, you need to take a look and open it up just a little, because this is a hallmark of an eating disorder, and you don't want to start forming those, identifying with them, putting yourself on social media, making this your brand and your livelihood and your life and then having this super strong identification with something, and then find you need to make some changes. And this is also popping up in the raw food community. There was recently a video between Misfit Vegan and John Kohler. John Kohler is a 30-year raw vegan. Misfit Vegan I'm very much aligned with, in that she is from the 80-10-10 camp, and Aris Latam, fruitarianism. That's definitely what charges me and feels best for me. But they were nitpicking and fighting amongst each other, and John Kohler was using a probiotic that had a little bit of dairy in it. And so Misfit Vegan was like tearing them apart about it, And this sort of puritanical 100%, always bat 1,000 mentality sets us up for failure, and it sets us up for pain. It's not something that's realistic. And um, I'm very passionate about vegan diets. I think it's promoting of ahimsa, mindfulness, of a loving heart, and of I noticed in my transition that moving away from meat and into veg, the decrease in my own aggressiveness, and furthermore moving into breatharianism to because I'm a triple Aries, people like I'm a warrior, uh, but I don't. I've become the peaceful warrior. I've channeled that as skillfully as I can, you know, but I have to, you know, work with those energies of a sort of aggression. I really think, in the Buddhist way, it's a matter of all these energies are just a thing you need to learn to channel skillfully. So I use that aggressive energy to build, to make gardens, to, skateboard, to drum. So it's about finding channels. You know, but anyway, that's a whole aside. Getting back to the content. Hey, there's Nabia. One love, sister. Hop on if you're available and you'd like to chat. Just send me a thing. So yeah, this whole infighting in the vegan community about the purity of whether one is 100% raw vegan, like if we can move the collective to make more plant-based choices, work with organics, permaculture, regenerative farming, support these things, we're going to make a far greater collective difference on the benefit of the entire planet, of the ecosystem, of ourselves, of our health. But, then if we are, damning of people who are eating meat or they're a little bit of dairy, or like, let's include people as much as possible to let the plants be agents of change, and to, through the light codes that they uptake, transform us from within, transform the collective from within. Oh, Nabiha regressed to jump on. I'm going to let her on. I haven't seen her in so long. What a joy. I'm stoked to see my friend. All right. Patience. Let's see. I might have to. Oh, there it goes. Hey, Nabiha! What? Good to see you, sister. One love.
You too. Can you see me and hear me?
I can see you and hear you. You look
Okay.
beautiful. How you
Oh, so
doing?
do you, brother. So do you. I was listening to you, but I didn't catch everything. I just came in the last minute. So,
No worries. I was just like kind of rant I was on is just about sort of the puritanical nature that people can get into, identifying too much with their path. It's something I've been working with the breatharian path. You know,
hmm
uh, dissolve. We have to identify with the things that we want to become, but we also, once we kind of arrive, we have to dissolve the
hmm
identification.
hmm
So
Absolutely. That's what the path is about, at least for me, because I'm thinking like a lot of people are focused on the food part of it, right? But the path is, how can you let more light in? And in order for you to let more light in, you have to clear out everything that's already blocking you, and it doesn't have to be food. It's mostly ideas and other things that are blocking you. So if you even get wrapped around on the idea of breatharianism, is going to be another block, right? So just understanding that it's being light, being
being
free from
free,
all concepts. Yeah.
yeah, being
So,
free.
mhm.
That's the vibe.
Be free from all concepts, everything.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And even that breatharianism requires not eating, you know.
Mhm.
But
I mean,
yeah, that's
it's not, there's no requirement. Once you understand yourself, then the thought of like not eating, like now you just saying not eating because of it's a thing that has a hold on you. But once you are free from all of that, the non-eating is not even a concept that you would entertain, you know? It's not like it has nothing to do being food freedom. It's like you'll be free from your addiction for sure. but this
Yeah.
is not a journey.
Yeah, I totally resonate with that. I think it's this thing of like, um, you know, feel like we need to rebrand or reconjure Ellie Tom's been working with solar breatharian, and there's a lot of sense in
It's
that,
all the
that it,
same.
yeah, my thinking is, just in that people concentrate too much on the food part, you know, and that you're already, uh, this being that doesn't need food. You don't need anything. You're a self-organized, you know, organism, completely free and sovereign unto yourself, you know.
Hmm. Like
And
we have to differentiate when it comes to the body and when it comes to the essence itself, right? So just imagine, your body, the body, the makeup that you have today, it's programmed, right? It's programmed with layers and layers and layers of you know, programs where there, yeah, things that you need to do in a certain way, like eating was like part of the learned habit. And every every craving that you have is associated with some type of emotions. So, and that's a learned habit, right? So the body have learned to adapt to all of these concepts. So for you to forget all of that and clear all of those concepts from your body and then align with your soul, which is the one that does not need anything. Okay, you don't need anything, your essence, like your whole, right? But the body that you are using is conditioned. So, in
Mhm.
order for you to be on this path in a free way, you have to really unlearn a lot of things.
You
So,
gotta,
the path is just unlearning, but the food is like one thing that holds people back because it's like it's the first block that you would feel physically and mentally, right?
mhm.
Because of whatever you put in your body has an effect on you, right? So when you feel that effect, you feel like it's stopping you somehow as a human, and it does. But just learning to kind of like nourish your body as you are transitioning is important, and not to just think like, okay, I'm going to be food freedom and I'm just going to cut food and that's it. Then you're going to hurt yourself,
Mhm.
right? So just like changing, and human beings, we're adaptable, right? So whatever you change to, you can mutate your body, along the way, but it's a long process. It's a lifestyle that you have to go through. And it has nothing to do with guarding food and thinking like, oh, food is a bad thing. It's your mindset. Have you seen how people go from eating too much and food addiction into like the raw food? And now all they're doing is just looking for fruits all the time. They're hoarding fruits. Same thing with liquiditarians. They just drinking a lot of juices, and it's the mind that's fixated on the food and the consumption mindset that's the problem, and not the food itself. Because whatever you change to, you still haven't changed your habit. Does that
Yeah,
make
I
sense?
think it does, but I think of it even in terms of like this is so much our natural state. We're
Mm.
energy beings, and that we can we can run off so many different kinds of energy. You know,
Hmm.
basically we're like cockroaches. We could eat like all the garbage and junk people eat that's out there that they live for, tens, you know, they can live a whole lifetime even eating junk food,
Yeah, we
you know.
tolerate a lot of things.
And
Yeah, yeah.
but there's just higher and lower forms of energy, you know, and the highest ones, are these ones that are the things that we all uh, can feel to be more important to us, like being happy, being loved, being in love, being uh, uh, in your integrity, being in a creative mode.
all,
There's
all of that, you become kind of like when you stop searching. You
Mhm.
know, you know how
Yeah.
people always just searching, because when you're searching for some type of feeling. So when you stop searching and you're
Mhm.
just being in your natural state, and I don't mean like staying away from food and following concept and stuff. The food and you will not even resonate with each other when you're in that free flow of just accepting and knowing that everything is connected.
Mhm.
Really,
Well,
everything is connected.
and even just identifying as this thing is good and this thing is bad, that that is just a concept. It's just in
Mm,
our imagination. And
it
I've had to
is.
work with this because that's what I was, sharing about here, and authenticity of like that I've brought more solid foods into my body in
Mm,
the last few months than I have in the last,
mhm,
8 years, you know,
mhm,
and it's, partly I was bored was what I was saying. I just wanted to try some different stuff. And
mhm,
but mostly it's the active, actually practice of dissolving my over identification, with
mm, mhm,
breatharianism, you know,
mhm, mhm.
that
I have been recommending people to eat more solids instead of drinking a lot of juices lately because I have. Mhm.
there's, in terms of, I don't want to interrupt, but
No, no,
did
no.
you
Go
want
ahead. Go ahead.
to?
No,
It
no, no. Go
just
ahead.
brings to mind I mean, not Aris Latam, but Arnold Ehret, and when I
Mm,
first got into the path, all of his teachings, the importance of actually having fiber. And that was a question. It's interesting you say that because that was a question why I jumped on here. Someone had a question to me
mm,
about, because they've been liquiditarian and they've been fixated. And I'm like, yeah, I'm having some cucumber salads and some this and that. And they're like, what, how does your body handle the fiber? And I was like, it's fine. It's not a problem. It's, my body, our bodies are super adaptive. But to get out of this thinking that like, if you go up the levels, then all of a sudden you can't do this anymore, you know, um,
I mean, you can make the body disable and you can shut some of the system that used to function because if you could do it before, you, of course, you can do it again, you know?
mhm.
But
Yeah,
you can shut your system out by not using it. Whatever you're not using, it's not going to work again.
but
So,
you will adapt to it if you bring it back in. That's my
mhm,
point. Is
absolutely.
that's some of the teachings from Hilton Hotima and the breatharian truths that I still see to be, sound, is
Mhm.
that, um, oh, where was I going with that? I lost my train of thought. Oh well.
you you come up with it. But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I
It's
mean, it's just
more
the
like
chewing.
this
I think
whole.
like you consume when I talk about it, consuming thing, like everybody or most of us are consumers, right?
Mhm.
So the way we
I
eat food is like, hmm? Yeah, so
remember
the
when.
way we eat food is that we consume,
Mhm.
right? And it's a mindset. And when you're consuming something, whatever you're consuming, you're not connected with it. So somehow it hurts us. And people are not connecting things. So they're eating too much and everything is just stuffed and stuck and the mindset is stuck, everything is stuck. But when, for example, let's say like you are a consumer and then you just change your diet because you overconsume things and now you think maybe juicing is better for you, right? Most people come from that kind of mindset. They think like, okay, juice is going to save them. And then they go into the fruitarian or raw or whatever they go to. And then they still have the same mindset.
Mhm.
They still
Yeah,
consume it.
yeah. I see that. I think it's, I remember what I was gonna say to the point
Mhm,
was about Hilton Hotima's teachings about the body's vital adjustment. How,
mhm, mhm, mhm,
you talked about that before about, how someone who uses heroin or opiates can adjust to a level that if you gave another person, they would die, you know,
mhm.
and we do that slowly, gradually with our bodies, this overconsumption, overaccumulation.
Yeah.
I feel the way food hurts me, like, because still drive fast 23 hours a day.
Mhm,
And when
mhm,
I'm in that state, I feel the best, but I have this habit and I'm okay with it, you know, like
mhm,
if it goes beyond this, great, but I'm not going to force. And that's kind of what I was doing. And I
mhm,
actually, when I was in Costa Rica, it was working. I got to Costa Rica and I was, working with the prana down there equatorially, and the
mhm,
water and the air and just the prana of the forest and all of this, the fruits super fresh to make juice out of was like way more pranic, way more delicious, way more enjoyable.
mhm,
And I felt myself starting to level up,
mhm,
and I was having contention with my wife, and I
mhm,
could feel the way it was like I was trying to spread out and it felt like this weight, and we
Mm,
eat differently. We have, all kinds of things that we're working out, but this is part of the thing that came in that really touched me about the sharing uh, that Jerome and Ellie Tom did at the event you guys
mm,
did about
mm,
relationship and the pranic path and how it's hard to hold relationship because you
mm,
become married to the light. And I've felt this, and it's been a turmoil for myself and my wife.
mm,
But now we're coming to terms with, well, we actually came into this marriage
mm,
with other marriages that we were connected to. I
mm,
was already connected to the light and to the yogic transcendent, dharmic path. And she was already committed to motherhood, married to motherhood.
mm,
As long as
mm,
we agree that it's okay that these things come first and that our relationship comes second,
mm,
then we work together just fine. You know,
mm, mm,
letting go, and of some of the attachments is what I've been working with. And I
mm,
feel like there was another sharing that Jerome put up a post of like, the African saying of like, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
mm,
So I feel like I could just break off from my family and go and just, but that's not what actually my soul uh, learning and desire is.
mm.
So
That's
reconciling
mm.
is important.
So what is your desire? What is your soul purpose? What do you feel?
But
Do you
this
feel like
soul,
I've been posting stuff about being in the wrong environment? So do
mm-hmm,
you feel like you are in the wrong
in the
environment?
wrong environment. And all
Yeah.
together, I love the desert. I love northern New Mexico. I've spent my whole life here. I love my family. It's been a joyous time, but we've all transitioned into a different phase. And
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
my life is trying to transition into this higher breatharian vibration with the full commitment of the life,
mm-hmm,
and, relinquishment of food as just a natural effect, I know will come. And I don't really want to think about it. I want to enjoy the journey in between, enjoy the
mm-hmm,
fresh fruits and the things. And those things have been transformative to many people to really transform their health and get them in a more chronic way. And that was how I started in for sure. But to disentangle the identification, that's the thing that causes us to quarrel with other people, to tell them the wrong, to feel this is bad, that is good, to be upset with our family and all these situations where we really just need to bring love, and acceptance and
mm-hmm.
understanding of they're on their own journey and I'm on this one.
Yeah. No, there are too many people that, in the name of love, actually sit in the wrong places, and then there will be that concrete, like that seed on the concrete, right? It's not growing.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to know that love looks different sometimes. Sometimes love looks like, taking care of yourself. Sometimes love looks like choosing yourself. So
Totally.
love is different, but it's just the way you interpret it. But knowing that if you know you're in the wrong environment, and know, like, wrong environment doesn't have to be the place. It could
Yeah,
be the wrong house. It could be the wrong friends. It could be
wrong job.
wrong, you know,
Yeah.
yeah, wrong job, right? It could be anything, but just, recognizing it and recognizing your patterns and knowing always like, okay, what do I feel when I'm here? And how does this make me feel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Analyzing all of that and taking action is very important because you will lay in it thinking that you're doing out of love, but
Mm-hmm.
then you're not happy, right?
Yeah, I
So,
mean that's the thing too is that I've been working with is trying to discern these greater levels of happiness. I have
mm,
a large degree of happiness, you know,
mm,
and I really love this sharing from Credo Mutua. I think I told you about him some time ago. He's an African shaman, sort of dignitary. He's like keeper of, the Zulu tradition and their wisdom and
mm.
secret teachings and all this stuff. And, you know, um, I spaced the point I was making, going on my tangent about Credo Mutua. But What were we talking about? Honestly, I've just had too much of the fuckets and too much in my head lately. So, pardon my lapse of thinking here.
It's, it's okay. It's okay. It means we're supposed to talk about something else. That's
Yeah,
fine.
I guess so. Shucks.
How's your music going?
Oh, still playing music a little bit. Mostly, I've been really just committed to getting this Airbnb retreat space together because that's
Yeah.
kind of my springboard going forward. I just, I want to connect out with community more. I need to make better money than we've been making for like the last 20 years. Um,
Mm.
and
You're gonna get there.
yeah, and
So when is your Airbnb done so we can have a retreat over there?
well, it's been so much work. I can give you a little tour. Here's the yurt. It
Yeah,
finally,
please. I would love to see.
it's
Oh, that's a little hut.
it's yeah, it's like a
Oh,
Mongolian yurt. So it's got all
oh my
this
God, you
beautiful.
built that?
Yeah, yeah. This did this
Whoa,
with all my friends and community came out to come help me put it together. I'm super grateful for all
that
the
is
family.
nice.
So this is the space
Nice.
that I would use for our you know future pranic retreats here.
That
We
is
could
so nice.
we can chill in this space and do yoga or do
Meditations,
our,
qigong. I love that.
so it's pretty cool. Here, I'll
Wow.
give you I don't know if we'll be able to see it outside because of the light.
I see the colors.
But yeah, it's got all this wonderful Mongolian art on it,
Oh
which
my
is
goodness. Yeah, that
my
is. I
favorite.
love the details.
That, that's I love
Yeah, I see
Tibetan
that.
and all that, so it's pretty cool.
That looks like a pranic temple.
With like all this going on all around us. It's
That
beautiful
is
here.
nice.
I'm so blessed. I shouldn't like complain, really. It's like I live a really beautiful life. It's just it
Yeah,
is
you
an
came to
environment.
me in a dream actually, and it looked like that, dry, like it was a desert. Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember I told you the dream.
yeah. I'll show you the other parts of the buildings here. Gosh, I wish I could
Cactus.
remember what I was going to tell you about Mutua because it was pretty juicy. But oh well. Anyway, let me show you this.
That's
This stuff. Got to take a little walk here. So I've showed you before, of course.
how is the weather? How is the weather out there in?
It has
Oh, that
been.
is nice.
You've seen that before, but
Yeah,
we've got
I
it
know,
really.
but it looks so small from outside. It looked bigger when you were inside. You showed me inside only.
It's pretty big, but my wife's in there having
So
her therapy
that.
appointment right now. So
Oh, okay. So that's a mud house, right?
that's one mud house, and then
My mom lives
over
in one
here,
like that.
over here we have
Yeah.
this little. I can't really. The light is such that the sun is on everything.
Someone is asking something.
Anyway, there's this spiral garden that we made.
Oh,
That with
Bessie,
sorghum.
we need to come to you now. So we Alison and I are going around in the US.
Oh, you are right now?
Yes. Like I
Oh,
mean,
really?
now
That's
he's
awesome.
going.
I've
No,
seen you guys.
wait. In October he's going to England, but I mean like we are doing all the retreats in the US. So we were
Nice.
looking for our next, and we were thinking of like California or Florida, but I don't know how cold is New Mexico in November or January. I mean,
Um, pretty cold. Pretty cold.
cold, right?
Not real
Okay.
nice.
So the
But
summer 2026.
yeah,
You think we can do something out there?
yeah. That by then I'll definitely be ready. I'm
Yeah. What
hoping to
what
be ready
month?
by October, but it's just I have
Yeah,
so much
October
to
he's in
build.
England. He will
Yeah.
be in England.
Uh huh.
What about May or June next year?
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be
June?
good. Yeah.
Okay, let's
Yeah.
say June then.
Let's do
So
it.
June we say New Mexico. We'll set that up then. So
Okay.
you stay prepared.
Yeah. Oh, I'll be prepared.
So we would have some forest foraging this time then.
Yeah, I'll
Yep.
take everybody and show everybody about the wild plants, and we'll forest bathe.
What
And
month is best then?
uh, for harvesting stuff is really like August. You know.
August? August
Yeah,
2026. Okay.
yeah. The forest is really juicy usually. It's been because we usually have a hot, dry period from like May through early July, and then it starts
Mm.
to get, and then everything's, then all
Okay.
the herbs come out and all the mushrooms and stuff, and it's fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. You pick a month then that you think is best, and then we will work with that.
Yeah, either one of those would be fun. I'll work with whatever, we can make it beautiful
Mhm.
any time of year. We can create something wonderful, but you know, just what's in divine flow. That's
Yeah.
what'll do
Yeah,
the
I
right
think
thing.
you yeah, the group that we had right now on the retreat, really you would enjoy it.
Yeah,
There's
it
a
looked
lot of
like fun.
brothers.
I so much wanted to go. I've just been
Yeah.
like, I'm trying to get to the Texas Fruit Fest at the end of September. And
Oh,
Jerome, I guess, is doing qigong there, but it's just one of
in
the closest
Texas.
festivals, and it's only like $50, and
Oh.
I could drive and camp, so I could afford it. So,
That's nice. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I drove all the way from Minnesota to California, so
dang, hardcore. That's something I have trouble doing. I just because I incurred some injuries in landscaping. I got
mm,
herniated discs and stuff, and I'm able to. I'm in pretty good shape, but driving for hours and hours is absolutely just hell.
no.
Not comfortable. I can move all day. I can climb mountains. I can, but
Yeah, that was my first time driving alone for that long distance, and it wasn't easy, but it wasn't hard either.
mhm.
It was all right.
I
2
see
days.
Catherine's on here asking. Oh, she's saying Chittahuro Credo. Oh, she's wondering. I was trying to talk Catherine about Credo Mutua, who is this African shaman. And I wish I could remember what the context of the thing was, but I just blasted it out of my head. So, but
It will
he
come to me.
has some really great um, thoughts about. It connects with our conversation, just his overall message, because he's talking about sort of the fate of humanity, the stories, the African stories from old, and some of the prophecies and stuff they have, and that how vital it is right now that we find unity, you
Mhm.
know, instead of this, it's kind of how I started in because in the vegan community, there's like beginning to be this infighting of like whether or not you're 100% raw or blah blah blah. It's like
Who cares? Like, where?
exactly. It's,
Why?
yeah, exactly. Precisely.
Why?
I'm
Like,
glad you
what
feel
I
it.
eat do not concern you,
Yeah,
And what you eat, I could care less.
right.
That you know what to put into your body. I cannot tell you that this is the right way to do it. Like, oh no. No,
Yeah,
no, no. That's
that,
what I mean.
that
Everything turned into a cult. Just like
yeah,
even these little breath exercises turn into a cult. Oh, if you have to breathe this way, you have to breathe that way.
yeah,
Everything, we complicate everything. No
totally,
way.
totally,
So
totally.
now all the raw vegan is a community, and then this is community.
Yeah, and what we
Yeah.
need to find the community of the human family and beyond.
Mm,
Like
mm,
family of the plants and the animals, and there's. I've been geeking out on a couple of things lately. Stories of people with unusual relationships with animals.
mm.
Like a raven that'll adopt a person, as their friend and go on walks with them and visit them every day
Oh,
and come inside their house and um,
really?
yeah. And there's this one story I came across this lady from Russia who was, I think it was like in the 1940s or 50s, and she was kind of ostracized by the community because she was kind of weird hermit, but people would come across, they thought she was a witch because people would come across her in the forest sitting with like a mountain lion and a deer and a raccoon, and like, and she would have them, there's pictures of her with like wild animals in her house, just chilling in her house with her,
Oh, that's so cool.
like we do with our cats and dogs. Like we can have, it's not always the
It's a
animals are trying
frequency.
to eat each other and you and this whole Cartesian mentality.
Mm.
uh, life here is a oneness.
Yeah.
And
Really, the animals don't just harm like that. They really don't.
yeah,
It's we human who do
they
that.
eat. They do it to eat, and it's part of agreement, a soul agreement. And on the
Yeah.
animal realm, they don't have that ego identification as much. So they're like, yeah, okay, I'll be food, and you eat me, and we'll just that's the law of the land. It's okay.
Yeah. I
It's
remember
a
reading when
acceptance
we
of that.
read the book Ishmael.
Yes,
Ishmael.
same vibes.
Yeah.
But Predamuto is coming with this deep, 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 ancestral stories and wisdom from
Mm.
Africa. I think you may really appreciate it. I love it.
You sent it
It's
to me before, right? I
I
think
don't
so.
know if I sent you. I think I sent you a picture of the book. I can send it to you again if you like.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah,
Animals are just still different. Yeah, we
offering.
are animals. We're just a human species.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is. We're just humans, and we're not a raccoon, but we're not separated from them. We're just a different species. But when it comes to animals and their intentions and how they are connected with everything, we think we're the smartest one. We are the one that are disconnected from everything, and
Yeah,
we think we're the smartest one.
it's the disconnection is this judging of good and bad. You know,
Mm,
So that's what I'm trying to get away from, in my breatharian practice is like those thoughts in my own head. Like
mm,
it's good to dry fast 23 hours a day and just do juice. Like it's okay to have a taco, you know?
mm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay.
I mean,
I gotta
you
give
you
myself space.
creating all of these restriction. What I don't like is like people running from one restriction and creating another one. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't
Yeah.
make sense. So it's not about the tacos, and it's not about you being staying away for how long you can stay away from not eating. It's not about that.
No,
It's about you sinking within yourself, and food shouldn't be like a thought that's constantly like playing in your mind. It's an addiction. When it's constantly playing in your mind, that's an addiction. So you need to just go deeper in and think like, okay, hey, what is going on here? Why am I addicted to this stimulation? What is going on? Why do I feel like I need this? So when you question those things and then you tackle the trauma and not the food. People are fighting food. Then you wouldn't have all of this like chain that you have to like all these doors where you're locking food and you always staying away from
that's,
food, or
that's
you
totally what,
starving your body for like 23 hours and then you're like rushing a lot of juice into it like for 1 hour a day. Like you hurting yourself at one point, right? So it's the ideas that actually do hurt us.
I don't think it actually helped. I think it hurt. I think it actually helped. But what hurt was trying to maintain that and identify with it, even here on
Yeah.
Instagram.
Hmm.
To be because people will shoot you down, and they're like, "Hey, you're not a breatharian. You eat some stuff, or whatever." Like,
But what does it even
give me
mean?
respect. It doesn't even, to me, if we're creating any kind of anything, if we're gonna have this rigid restrictiveness, it's gonna fail. Like, it needs that
You shouldn't
room
have
of
any.
life to be able to flow. You know, and that's what I sense within myself is like right now I'm on this path of like my body is accustomed to not eating. It feels much better when I don't.
Mhm. That's
But
how it's supposed to
I'm
be.
allowing of the food to come in, whatever it is,
Hmm.
so that it's no longer a thought in my mind of this is it, this isn't it, this is good, this is bad.
Yeah, that's the
That's what I'm
poison.
breaking up with the practice. I'm taking it as a practice, you know,
Mm.
with
Mm.
purpose,
I
with
love that.
intention. Not because I'm subject to like, oh no, now I just have to eat now. You know, I you
No,
know,
no, it
and
has to be like
I might have
intention
depleted
driven.
myself a little bit
Mhm.
by going so hard at it. And so maybe that's just my body wisdom, like trying to catch up, with the
Mhm.
changes. So
Yeah, but
I'm
it's
just
the
gonna do it.
mind that consumes people. It's the
It's our
mind.
thoughts. It's our thoughts that cause us all of our problems. You know, and
Absolutely.
that's been the wonderful teaching from Dzogchen that has been helpful for me during this period. You know, um, is that don't believe your thoughts. They're figments of your imagination. They're
Yeah.
fleeting. They're like a mirage. They come and they go. You know.
Absolutely. And then when you internalize everything, you make it into reality, right? So, like you were saying right now, people saying, "Oh, you're not breatharian, you're not this, this is," when people say like that, just for you to
That's
even
for
think
them.
of their level of consciousness, for someone to even say something, like if someone said something
Yeah.
like that to me, and to me automatically I just know their level of like consciousness, right? So
Yeah.
a lot of people that have food disorder or like eating disorder, whatever you want to call it, are in this path, right?
Yeah.
There are a lot
Yeah.
of people with a lot of other mental clutters that are also on this path. So you have to know where that frequency is in order for you to be free from yourself, actually, because it's not food. It's
Yeah.
not food. It's not how long you can stay without food. Like fasting just means that, okay, hey, you're giving your body a proper rest. You're giving it a break, and then understanding your intention. Okay, what is your intention with all this? It definitely shouldn't be like immortality or like building a different body or becoming like this. It should be to be in your best body.
Hmm.
Okay, this is a tool that you're using. So how can you create the best, tool right
Right.
here? And you can change it, like if it's like electric, like when my car is just a manual, like normal car that take gas. If I want to create it into electric, I can't just plug it into the wall and say like, okay, hey, now my car should be like that. No, I have to change things in my car. I need to make it electric in order for me to charge, right? So there are a lot of layers of belief system that is just lingering in people's system that need to be, let go of in order for
Hmm.
you to come to this path, or like let it little light inside of you, really.
It's
You
just
have
like
to
it's
let go of
all.
all of it. So it's not food, it's just the layers of beliefs. So, but if you already have all of those beliefs and then you get another belief and you link onto that one, now you have another problem,
Mhm.
right? So everybody's just linking on to another one, to another one. That's why they create these little childish communities where if you don't eat raw, you this or that. If you're not juicing, you this. What are we, children? Like it
Mm.
doesn't even make sense. It doesn't even make sense for us to just separate ourselves again and then develop another addiction and
Yeah.
run
It's good.
after. The
Good
mindset is
to
not changed.
good to identify that all these things are tools. You know
Mm-hmm.
that juicing is a tool, or fasting is a tool. Sun gazing is a tool. And I like what you said about, like, you're just trying to build. The highest sort of. I think of it not even as this body, because this body is going to go too.
Vehicle.
It's
I
not
mean,
even
this
about
this is
that
a
for me.
vehicle, right, for you to
Yeah,
recognize even.
yeah, I think that's important. But like you had kind of identified there, people have this over fixation with it. All the modern hype is about biohacking and longevity and all these like supplements and chemicals and this. It's a grasping on to life. We want to create a healthy, happy life, but that grasping creates a stress that it is
Mhm.
counterproductive to that state of health. You know,
Yeah, absolutely. You create a
yeah.
block again. Like
To
now it's the ego that's attached to the body, and now you're attached to the idea of life.
And when you get to the end of your life, if you still identified with this is it, then you're going to be kind of facing some difficulty there as you go into
Exactly.
your death, as you're trying to release your life.
Exactly. And then also this path, the intention should just be like, how can you be as clean as possible? I
Yeah.
mean, like literally, just think clean, okay? And clean on the inside, clean in your mind,
Totally.
clean in your vessel. Like just be clean in a way that you can be receptive to
That's
what is actually streaming. This whole thing, this whole planet is just like one big consciousness that we all streaming from, But we are all clogged up. None of us are receptive. It's like everybody's just walking around with their lights off, right? And we are talking about like where to turn the switch on. People don't even know they have a light, and we're talking about the switch, right? So
right.
it's like we have to know first there's a light, and then you can look for the switch to
Hmm.
turn it on. Does that make sense?
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I think what you said about the cleanliness too, that's part of Shintoism, which isn't a religion. It's part of like Japanese culture. It's like
Mm.
something that's present in all culture, but sort of in Shintoism, they talk about, cleaning to appease the spirits. You've probably seen the movie Spirited Away, the
Mm.
Miyazaki movie, and how there's all these like spirits that come into the bathhouse, you know, and there's this one that comes in, it's the river spirit, but it looks like this big, nasty, gluey monster, you
Oh.
know, and then they clean it and it's freed, you know, and that's all of us, all the accumulation of the bad thoughts, all the garbage food, all of like the, you know, violent TV and like all that stuff is like that amalgamate and this cleansing, like you said, of like the things you bring into your mind and the things you bring into your body, you know, thinking in those terms. And that's why I became a certified juice therapist, because I feel that if you're just washing, you know, washing inside, you know.
Yeah, I mean, like it's a process to detox. It's a process to, but to live just on that and then like pour like gallons and gallons of juice, that also can be harming, right? Because
It
the
can't.
body is intelligent and it knows what to do. If you put a little bit of salad in there, it knows how to take the juice out of it. The fiber does its own work and it's done, right? So as long as you know that, okay, whatever I'm putting in, it's 90% of it goes into the system where, you know, it just maintain the body, and then I don't have to have like a waste sitting somewhere. Like most of us, you know, eat like cooked food and this and that, and then they have the waste sitting somewhere, and then the body cannot fight it out. And then, you know, it's not only that it physically makes you heavy, but it also mentally makes you heavy because, like, sugar has like some type of effect on you, the salt, but we have built so much tolerance towards this that we don't even
Yeah,
notice
yeah.
those little settles effect it has on us. So the way you judge things, the way you move through life, all of that depends on all the little settled substances that you put in into your body. So it's not only the physical part where you feel like heavy, but it's all also the judgment that you make. So when you take a break, or like let's say like when you fast and you take a break from all of this like intoxication literally that's in this food, then you get this clear mind. You know, you it's like you're somebody that was drunk and now you sober and you can see things better, you can smell things better.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just the absence of the food, but it doesn't mean there's something wrong with the food. It's just that how you accumulate it within you, you know, how much
Taking it,
toxin did you take in, right?
yeah.
So
And if you detox too quickly, you can create autotoxicity. You can liberate
see.
toxins that have been in your body for years, and you can make yourself really sick. You know, and it's sometimes good to slow down the detox process. You know, and I think that's what we're on as we're moving into breatharianism. You know, we've been doing food for 40 years or whatever. Like, take the time to undo, you know, don't worry about even if it happens in this whole life, just working toward it. You know, be in love with the process of the journey of working toward it. I love getting up and meditating every day. I love doing qigong and sun gazing every day. I love fasting every day. You know, I feel so great, you know, in that space. You know, you feel the clarity of your mind. You feel, you know, um, energized. You feel, you know, your natural state. And I think that natural state idea is real, but it's like we have to work back to it and to not pressuring any of it, you know, but to see this as a beautiful, joyful journey that we get to take, you know.
It really is, and it's not complicated. It's not like, you know, don't consume
It'll
ideas,
happen.
don't consume, you know, food or ideas. But it's just like how the more clean you are, the more receptive you be, you know?
It'll
And
happen all by itself.
mm, mm, absolutely.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jesse, I need to go. I think someone is
Yeah.
actually waiting on me out there. So
My phone is about to die too, so timing's perfect. But it's so good to see you. I'm so glad you jumped on. Love
yeah,
you.
it's
Been
awesome. Love you too,
great to
brother.
connect today, and you know, we'll keep it going.
All right. And next we will talk about the retreat as well. And much love to you.
Thank you for your perspective.
All
Always
right.
appreciate it. Yeah,
See
blessings,
you
everyone. Hope you
likewise.
got something from this. Be well. Okay, except I have to end it. Here we go. Okay. Bye, everyone.